All right. Hey guys. So, I'm starting the stream just a smidge earlier than normal. And that's purely because I just want to talk about a couple of images that were brought up by Fiora before the stream starts. Now, just so you guys know, the stream is actually a lot more delayed than normal. It's about 20 seconds behind. Typically, it's only 2 to 3 seconds. Because no matter what I did, YouTube decided that this was a normal latency stream. It didn't care. So if I take a lot longer than normal to respond to comments, just understand it's out of my control. YouTube just did not want to give me control over my own stream today. So, apologies. So, first of all, let's take a look here at the first thing that was scraped up, which is the Kira Yamato AI build project. So I guess the devs heard me when I was talking about how a random Anna Rose was the best shooter in the game, and they immediately were like, all right, you know what? We're going to remedy that. Gonna make it a seed rep. So here we go. Kira Yamato, Seed Awakened, long shooter job, 2569 shot attack at just 99 versus Anna Rose at, I think it was like 2300 change. So he's obviously better right out of the box. On top of that, when you take him to alternate and you give him the extra stats from that, well, now you're looking at over 3000 shot attack, paired with the Ace exclusive and high firepower word tags right out of the box, which already make him an utterly amazing unit. It looks like his par trait with power attribute shooting power is going to get boosted by 1%, which is a 10 out of 10 trait to start with, and then he's going to get a secondary very powerful trait as well. So in other words, this unit covers your stats, your word tags, and most likely your par traits all wrapped up into one. So for shooter builds, much like how the super form Domin was, top tier, here you go. Next thing I got brought up, obviously we get special horror chipsets because it's a Sokai with high value suits on it, ones that people really want, so there's your bait. You get a super alternation set in the shop that gives you your alternation tools, a bunch of badges, a whole bunch of exchange tickets as well. And this is mainly there so that if you're newer to the game, you can just spend a little bit of money and it lets you pick a whole bunch of parts that you can instantly alternate and get a colossal stat boost and pretty much catch up. And then obviously the tune-up set, which gives you a whole bunch of 6-star materials. So. And lastly, the fall login campaign. We just get a bunch of build points from the BT marks every day. Which is nice. Very nice, at least for me. Because, yeah, no matter how much I try to get gold marks to finish the quad, I'm always just a few shy. So, let's take a look at chat here. Hey Darth. Oh, Toga, happy birthday. Didn't even notice the pre-stream messages. Yeah, okay, cool. So, let me change on over to game proper. Excellent. And chat is loaded, I hope? Probably. I'm going to assume it is. Let me just get everything into position here. No, wait. Oh, shit. My glasses are downstairs. Oh, well, you're going to have to deal with me being a squinty person today. Because I can't read my screen without glasses. I'm like Velma from Scooby-Doo. Okay. 11 o'clock. Hatch should be live. And it looks like the audio is carrying over. Cool. Because I still don't have the feedback set up again, so I don't know if the game audio is properly playing or if you're getting some weird ass static. Oops. I thought I had touched the screen. Silly me. Okay, no. Apparently I did, but you have to tap it again after it's done loading now? Okay, whatever. Okay. Nice, 4-star mark right off the bat. Error when attempting to tune up? Huh. That's very interesting. I didn't even know that was a problem, but okay. So, as normal, we're going to take a look at the welfare suit, then we're going to look at the gacha suits, gacha pilots, then we'll look at anything in the alternation and event blueprints, including the new Kira, because I do want to see what his alternated part trait is. So, let's get cracking, I guess. White wolf material? No, I'm dumb. We want coin. Okay. The high mobility type Zaku 2 Shin Matsunaga custom. Wow, that's a mouthful. Okay. Xeon Zaku type. Who could have seen these word tags coming? Certainly not me. I was actually expecting like Ace exclusive or something, frankly, because, you know, the suit itself was pretty much only for Aces in the first place, so it would make sense, but okay. Stat distribution wise, has slightly lower shot attack than other welfare suits. Doesn't really even have a lot of defense to round it out with a change gear. Physical, yeah, no. Reload speed doesn't really matter. Okay. For a welfare, it's pretty low on the totem pole. Doesn't really bring amazing word tags to the fight either. Stat-wise, not really feeling it. Trait, not really feeling it either. You could probably find a better Zaku head and just use a white paint palette on it, frankly. Oh, how do you have areas at your title screen? Okay, so funny enough, there's two title screens. There's the Barbados, and there's the areas. The Barbados, to my knowledge, is in the Japanese client and the North America client. The areas is in the C client. When this game originally released, I downloaded it as soon as I saw it available on the store. I have the Asia client, so that's why you see the areas at my login screen instead of the Barbados. Yeah, there's no way to transfer the account, unfortunately, so I'm stuck on the Asia server, but as they all run in sync with each other, it's not really that big of a deal. But I do reckon that's why I've been unable to play multi-missions with other people that are on the North American client. So it's weird because you can add them as your friends and all that, you just can't do multi-missions with them, which seems extremely arbitrary. Anyways. Come on. White Wolf Tackle B plus C. Charge mercilessly. Okay, whatever. Xeon. There is the Ace exclusive tag. There we go. Stat distribution wise. Actually, because it has over 1,000 defense on it here at 99, that'll transfer over like what, 300 change? So its melee and shot attack are actually like 800 pretty much. For a welfare to have like 800 offensive melee and shots, actually really nice, paired with the Ace exclusive tag. Yeah. And when you think about it as well, because it does have the Xeon tag that raises, melee defense by 10%, if you do manage to activate Xeon as well, you could get a lot of extra out of the defensive traits with the change gear. But again, it depends on the kind of build that you're running, so. The argument would have to be made, would you be better off getting a 5% melee attack boost from something, or would you be better off getting 10% more defensive stats and having 30% be modified into your offensive stat? So it purely depends on your numbers that you're using. So, okay. I like it. Has high stats for a welfare. It has a really good word tag on it. The EX, not that great. Arm. Infighter job, melee crit rate. Now, okay, melee crit rate's blunt. Lower than average melee attack, even with the defensive stats calculated in. It's at okay for a welfare. Xeon and Zaku type again, so it doesn't even have Ace exclusive on it, so meh. It's okay. For a welfare, it's okay. With technique attribute self, enemy melee power reduced. Awesome, really easy to get technique attribute. Really easy to slap onto a support suit, 25% melee reduction. Stat distribution wise, a lot like the torso, it's pushing pretty much 800 on both after a 30% change gear gets applied. Xeon Ace exclusive again. So here you go. Another great Ace exclusive tag, good offensive stats. Unfortunately, the trait's pretty much a write-off, but if you use this as a front piece and subslot something good, if you decide to 6-star a welfare, you're doing pretty hot for yourself. Surprisingly, actually, these two parts look like they'll be really good kind of like in a scaling situation, so. While Xeon melee power boosted. Considering it's extremely easy to activate Xeon with the sub system, the sub slots, and you know, you can 6-star a bunch of parts. This is not a terrible trait. Unfortunately, Xeon itself doesn't really give a lot, right? It raises your melee defense by 10%. So again, depends on your build and all that. Like, you might just be better off finding, you know, if you're speed attribute, power, you know, an attribute based, or, you know, high firepower, something like that, you know, increase your melee by, you know, 17 or 18%. It's not 25%, but you're also going to get the extra boost from that applicable tag as well. But again, build dependent. Xeon Ace exclusive, so it has Ace, awesome. So it has stats, has Ace exclusive, and it has a nice trait to it too. So, okay. And the pilot, Shin Matsunaga. He is an infighter. Stat distribution is, well, I was going to say welfare, but like it's actually worse than some of the welfares we've had, for what that's saying. But at least he's better than some of the 4-stars. Xeon Ace exclusive, that's a healthy tag spread. Gives you one really good one not so good one. Quite unfortunately though, Ace exclusive, not really useful because he's an infighter, not a shooter class. So it's not gonna really, you know, feed into his strengths at all on this. So maybe as a sub slot for Ace exclusive or something if you're really lacking it. So if I were to get gold parts from this, if you need something for a support suit, go for the legs. If you want something for, you know, you're a new player and you're kind of thinking, you know, what should I get? Go for the chest. I think it'll probably give you the best returns, as a chest part has very good offensive stats. It gives you Ace exclusive, which is a very good word tag to bring up to earlier builds. You know, 10% boost when it's activated. So yeah, nothing really amazing there. Item wise, so we have close combat, that's always in high demand. Zaku type, Ace exclusive, another one in high demand. Amphibious, and for urban. Okay, so actually not terrible choices for the golds. Nice. All right, time to catch up. So many messages to read. Holy crap. So many messages to catch up on. Hey, Tyrant. Okay, let us look at the gacha suits. We're gonna start with... we'll start with the Nightingale. It's at the top, and I'm lazy, so we'll go there. So, okay, so they did with it what they did with the Penelope. They kept it the same size. It just looks really bulky because of the way that the parts are scaled. So it's not going to really mesh well with the existing suits that we have. Okay, so Nightingale Head, high firepower, close combat, while high firepower, EX skill power boost. High firepower, extremely easy to activate on shooter machines. It also comes with high firepower, which is very helpful. Pair that with its stats, which gives you a very high base shot attack on top of a pretty healthy shot defense to get mutated over with the change gear. You're looking at a very offensive-oriented part. However, it has no armor. Maybe the torso is a little beefier? Okay, it is. It is. Okay. Not by much, though. Head, great offensive stats, really nice word tags, and a good trait. Nice. Torso, what do we got? We have definitely higher than average offensive stats on this part with speed attribute, enemy EX skill power reduced. That's not a really good trait. High firepower, close combat. So again, we're bringing a high firepower tag to the table. Due to its defense modifiers, you're looking at what, about 700 gets moved over, maybe a little less than that. So you're looking at about 1700 melee attack, 1600 shot attack. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. I can get behind this part. I can get behind it. I don't like the trait though. So it has one good word tag. It has, oh, okay, I guess it technically has two good word tags because this is kind of a split. The suit can be used in a melee build so far, or a shot build, because it does kind of bring a little bit of both to the table. It has a tag for both, it has stats for both, but the traits, not so much. The traits are kind of where that falls apart. So this one is just like a flat, if you have high firepower, you're good. Remember, high firepower affects melee and shot. For this one, enemy EX skill power reduced. That's just not going to help most offensive suits, I don't think. So you're going to want to swap that out. For the arms, what are we looking at? Oh, okay. 3773 melee attack. So that's just slightly under like the really top tier stuff from what I remember, because those like push 4K. Shot attack 1000, which is just higher than average for what you'd expect on a arm for shot, but lower than what we're able to exchange for with the 4-star pick tickets. High firepower, close combat again, melee power boosted by 30% of your speed. So with the melee defense pushed in, you're definitely pushing over 4K. All in all, these arms are actually quite nice for a melee build, because you get your close combat, you get your high firepower. You get the part trait to just boost your melee power if you're running speed, and it brings over 4K stats after change gear applied. Okay. No, I don't really want to roll on this that much, John. So, the two things that made me consider rolling on the Nightingale. The first one, if it was like jaw-droppingly amazing, which we're not sure yet. We have to go look at the alternation for this suit. But the other one would be if it was an actual oversized suit. Doesn't look like it. Because when you like look at the Penelope, right, it's not that much bigger, like not noticeably bigger than its counterparts. Whereas I look at the Kshatriya and I can tell right away it's a bigger suit than everything else. It definitely helps the binders go way above, right? But that's kind of what I mean, is I understand that there's a skeleton that they have and they're constantly reusing, so things have to kind of fit within certain boundaries for that skeleton to be used, and it makes their life easier. But from a player and collector side kind of thing, that's just not fun. Give me those stupid big bulky suits, you know? I don't care if I'm a colossal target. I just want to completely dwarf other suits, man. Big suits are justice. Alright. What do we got here? Offensive-wise, with the defense modifiers in place, not bad. Hidden arms, A plus B, reduces beam resist. High firepower, heavy armor. Okay, heavy armor is where this kind of gets a little weird. Heavy armor is not the most common tag to see activated in a suit. High firepower for sure. The EX skill, not really feeling it. This is a non-cutscene, so this is probably just going to be a fire and not really forget, something you're going to have to get close enough to use, which means you're going to be very vulnerable. Never the best thing to have, but it does have good offensive stats on it and just stats in general, so okay. Backpack, funnel combination, A power, D pierce. Launch 10 funnels to shoot the enemy and fire your mega beam rifle. Cutscene. You heal and you raise your shot attack. Okay. High firepower, heavy armor. So this is an S rank cutscene EX after alternation. So that's pretty good. It's pretty healthy. Offensively, it's not looking too bad. It's definitely more focused on the shot aspect in this one than the melee aspect. So this is more of a shot part than a melee part. Yeah. great EX skill, great stats for backpack for shot, and it does have high firepower. Heavy armor, still not feeling it. Beam Tomahawk. Okay, when armor is 60% or more, EX skill power boosted. That's very easy to activate, as you should mostly have 60% or higher armor unless you're dead, or you somehow survived the enemy's cutscene. High firepower, heavy armor. Again, not a fan of heavy armor, really a fan of high firepower. Offensively, really good offensive stats on that, almost pushing 5k out of the box. Nice. That's actually not bad for a weapon. Okay. When one enemy shot down, reduce cooldown. No. 5130 shot attack. Okay, I like that. High firepower, like that. Close combat, not so much. Now, if you are looking for close combat on your weapon, because you're running a melee suit and need to fill it up, here you go. For shot machines, though, this is definitely looking quite beefy. After modifier from, yeah, you're looking at, what, 5,300 or so shot attack and 99? So I think this is going to break 10k, a lot like the Tall Geese rifle. So, nice. Good word tag and all that fun stuff. Don't like the trait, though. Don't like the trait. And the shield. That is a big shield, actually. Micro missile, DB magazine 11. Okay, cool. So this can get alternated. We now have, I'm going to assume, an A power 11 magazine EX. That's terrifying. Okay. High firepower, heavy armor. High firepower. Nice. Because, you know, it is a shot physical EX. And offensively, this has 500 defense out of the box, and then it has 3,465 shot defense, which translates to about 1,100 and change extra shot attack pushed over. So this shield actually has about 1,600 shot attack after all is said and done. On top of, you know, the alteration boosts, this is going to be a terrifying part. I think this is going to be the treasure of the gacha here. That's... oh boy. Okay. So we started off kind of on a okay foot with the Nightingale. And as we kind of got near the end, we had the backpack, we had the rifle, and we had the shield. The tomahawk was definitely good as well, but not as good as the other stuff, I think. So, we'll keep going, I guess. I knew. Okay. When armor 60% or more, EX skill power boosted. That looks very familiar. That looks very, very familiar. Ace exclusive, high firepower, shot attack, 4404. Okay. I'm actually really scared as to what this is going to look like alternated. This is going to be terrifying. Yeah, and this is also power attribute, you're right. So this will work really well with that new Kira. Okay. Okay. So I don't really think I have to say too much about this part. It has crazy stats, the two best word tags you could ask for on a shooter machine, and the trait is very easy to activate and very powerful. Let's continue. With power attribute, shooting power boosted. Well, there you go. That is arguably one of the best traits you can get for a shooter machine. Stat distribution wise, again, jaw dropping. You're looking at well over 2k shot attack on the torso. Yeah, and like, what, 1,600 melee attack? Ace exclusive Gundam type. Gundam type is used on some traits to activate boosts and whatnot. And Ace exclusive, a shooter tag. I knew. Oh boy. Arm machine gun, BD 7 magazine. You can move while firing. So this looks like a weaker version of the Nightingale shield. And it's in a slightly more contested slot. Arms on shot machines. I don't think it really matters. I think this is just going to be really good when alternated. I don't think it actually matters what people have. 2057 shot attack, 903, so like 2400 shot attack on the arms. Hey, Sukiya. Well, Ace exclusive, shooting crit rate boosted. Okay, finally, we have a trait that's not, like, top tier. Ace exclusive, high firepower. 2 best word tags you could ask for, stat distribution. You're looking at, like, what? That's 1500 shot attack or something like that, so... Okay. Do we exist just to suffer? Excellent stats. Best word tags you could want on a shot machine. Trait, not that great, but there's dozens of options for legs, so. EX skill, Hyper Mega Bazooka Launcher, AD, cutscene. Raise shot attack your squad by a stupid amount. Okay. Ace exclusive, high firepower, really great offensive stats. I don't really need to say much. I'm pretty sure the new Gundam is just... I almost want to compare this directly to the Tall Geese 3, just to see how it pairs up. You know? Well, Ace exclusive, EX skill power boosted. Alright, there you go, shooter machines. Ace exclusive, Gundam type. Alright. Like, literally, all of this is just insane. And yes, the high new back will become S power because it was A power before alteration. Shield, BD, and another magazine. So this took effectively any advantage that the Nightingale had. Yeet. Okay, well, why would you roll Nightingale when the high new exists? That's pretty much what it boils down to here. You're getting a big bulky suit that doesn't really mesh with anything else that we have on the table, so you either roll the whole suit or you're gonna have some kind of weird amalgamation monster. Or you can roll the high new, which offers better shot stats across the board and actually meshes with everything. Of course, you could roll a Nightingale for the melee related stuff. Absolutely, it does bring some pretty cool stuff around. But like, better option, unfortunately, here. This is just, whew, Nightingale has a heal back. Yeah, no, but like, that's the thing, right? Is the heal really necessary with all the buffs that the high new gives you? If I were to pick between the two suits, high new wins, like hands down as a mono suit. The amount of EX skill boost that it gets, the word tags it has, the options it has with magazine skills, it would just dance a circle around the Nightingale, and there's not really much it could do. You know, the other topper is, right, the Nightingale, as much as it does have a lot of melee focus on it, it doesn't have pro tag anywhere. It only has high firepower and close combat. Whereas the high new actually has Ace exclusive and high firepower littered through it, so you're not hurting for tags. Jeez Louise. Okay, well, high new, absolutely amazing as a suit. Nightingale, also very, very good. Outshone by the high new, unfortunately. It does have its strengths and weaknesses. If you're looking for a shooter machine, roll on the high new. If you're looking for a melee machine, potentially roll on the Nightingale. It really depends on what you need and if the Nightingale brings what you need to make your build better. Pilots, we'll look at Mr. Gilboa Sant first. With power attribute, chance to not recoil. Okay, who cares? Stat distribution. Wow, and he's a supporter. Okay, well, it's a pilot. Ram Aker, Outfighter, 2268 melee, not bad. With speed attribute, Vernier consumption reduced, that's bad. Close combat, high mobility. Serviceable. He's okay. He's not great. It's not terrible. Graham exists. We'll put it at that. Okay. Now, we'll look at the event blueprints, as I assume there's some new stuff that's been added in there due to the new materials. And then I will look at the alterations. Let's see what chat has to say. Have you watched Shutter Island, Mad Gun? That seems really familiar as a comment. Don't know why. Are you pulling? I might on the high new. I don't think so though. Unless the alterations are absolutely like jaw-dropping. Because I do want to save Haro for Christmas. Don't need the heal if you don't get hit. Worth a roll or wait for tickets? If you have the patience to wait for a gacha in the future that guarantees 5-star tickets to get limited parts, wait for that. Rolling Sokai is always a gamble because there's never a guarantee. If you have the Haro to spare, roll on the guaranteed banner that's there, the guaranteed step, I'm pretty sure it was. But as for the normal gacha, I'd say just be patient if you're able to. Mr. Bushido welfare is better. Okay. Caught back up. Now. So, we have the Zaku 3 custom. Okay. That wasn't that long ago, was it? That was pretty recent. And the Command Gundam. Oh, and Mac Knife. Huh. Then we have Wing, Build Strike, Atlas. Yeah, that hasn't changed. And there's the boy. Alright, what do we need to craft you, good sir? We need 10 E materials. Okay, that might be a reason to roll on this gacha if you really want the Kira. With power tribune, yeah, okay. So exactly what we saw with the before. So, let's go look at the alternated forms. And let's all die together on the inside, shall we? They really want to avoid X1. Yeah, I'm surprised because Strike Noir came back so quickly and they're still delaying on the other one. Wait, hold on. Oh, there you are. Alright, Mr. Kira Yamato. Let's hit current value and die. Leg parts EX skill power boosted by 35% with power attribute self shooting power boosted. The leg parts EX skill power boost is a direct reference to the Strike Freedom and the Freedom, both using the Ziphius Rail Cannon, which is a very, very powerful EX skill, especially on the Strike Freedom, as that will eventually be able to be modded into an S power EX skill. That's a really good set of traits. That is a really good set of traits. Yep, so he has the highest shot attack in the game now. He has jaw-droppingly great traits as long as you have a leg part that has an EX skill on it. Otherwise, he's still really amazing. Yeah, he's just amazing. 2 best word tags, best shooter stats, good traits. Okay. We all saw that coming, but I felt like it was still necessary to take a look anyways. Okay, well, let's look at the alternated Nightingale. What are we looking at stat-wise? Not a terrible boost to shot attack here, only got 500, but the shot defense push as well will move that up to what, 7? So about 5,400 shot attack on the head. you get a 200 armor gradual heal. So I'm just gonna say it again, in case you weren't here for the last stream that had alternated parts, or the stream before that that had alternated parts. But right now, alternated parts are still a commodity, or rather the tools to make alternated parts are still a commodity. So I highly recommend every player, if you look at a part and it doesn't have the best possible combination of traits, don't bother. You have to remember, right now in this phase of the game, all the parts that you alternate, you're not going to be able to replace the tools for it for a very long time if you're free to play. So be picky. Be very picky. And that's why I look at this and I go, the stats are nice, the traits are a waste. And unfortunately, that's kind of the big reason to alternate a part with traits, is to get the second trait. And it's a complete write-off. What's the point? Nightingale Torso. With speed attribute, enemy EX skill power reduced, and when attacking with beam, melee power boosted. So what this has done is it has taken a really bad trait and left it, and then given it a pretty powerful trait. Now I say pretty powerful because this requires it to be a beam melee, meaning all physical melee off the table for this boost. As most melee skills I know of are, the good ones anyways, I know that there are good beam ones, but the majority that people are using in Arena that I see are physical. They're not going to get this boost. Anyways, as the first trait is already pretty much a write-off for anyone that's looking to build an offensive suit, I don't think this should be alternated anyways. Stat distribution-wise, it does get a pretty healthy boost, but I just don't think it's worth it. Again, it only has one good trait, and that kind of makes it a point moot. Melee power boosted, and with axe category, melee power boosted. So if you're sitting on a very powerful axe weapon type, here you go. This is a great combination of traits to have. As long as your machine is speed type and you're using an axe, you're looking at a 65% capped melee power boost, just on one part. And it has high firepower and close combat, two very easy to activate tags, and both of them boost your melee power by 5% further. So this suit theoretically brings a 65% melee power boost on top of a 10% melee stat boost, just like that. So that's pretty good, I would say. That might be worth it. Again, it depends on your builds. The stats, it pushes up well over 5k for melee attack, so yeah. I see everyone discussing what's physical and what's beam. Would it seem like pilots are the best to alternate currently? Yes and no. There's some pilots that are very worth alternating, such as Yamato, such as Super Doman. There are some parts that are very worth alternating. Ones that go to S power, such as the Exia back, such as the full armor new arms, things like that. Right? You want to make sure that what you're upgrading gives you your money back. Pilots, I would say, have the most longevity, as typically, when you think about it on average, right? When we get a new suit, you're looking at anywhere from 5 to 8 to 9 parts. We get maybe 2 pilots, sometimes 3 tops. So, and we get 2 suits. So let's say at a maximum, we're getting, what? 18 parts. Minimum, we're getting 10. For pilots, you're getting 2 plus maybe 1. So no matter what, you're looking at about a third of the amount of pilots in the game as there are parts. And most suits will get an entire alteration set, whereas pilots only get 1 or 2. So the best longevity investment is going to be alternating a pilot, as it is much less likely for a better pilot to come out. Whereas alternating parts would arguably have a lowest return, as there is a very high chance it's going to be power crept very soon, just due to the scale of parts coming out. Right, you get me? You feel me? Anyways, back to this. Stat distribution wise on the legs, obviously looking quite beefy. High firepower, heavy armor. I don't like the heavy armor tag. I think it's kind of a waste, A-, A+, but it still hasn't changed from its core. It's not a cutscene, it's not a invulnerability frame, so you're just looking for damage, or to get damaged, I should say. So, is it worth the stats? Maybe. Is it worth the EX? No. And because the EX is really what's getting the majority of the boost here from the alteration, that's just not going to cut it. Backpack. Alright, show me your S rank. Yeah, there we go. So you get a huge heal, you get a huge shot attack boost, high firepower, heavy armor unfortunately, but due to the stat distribution, coupled with that amazing EX skill now at S power, I would say this is quite a valid part to alternate. Yeah, if you get it. You'll obviously have to subslot it with something to replace the heavy armor tag, unless your build runs heavy armor. But it's pretty good for what it is. It's a very good backpack part cutscene EX. Okay. When armor is 60% or more, EX skill power boost, while high firepower, enemy melee power reduced. So, another one of those cases where it's just not, I don't think it's worth it. Sure, you get the really nice stats from it, but well, let's see what happens with those. Yeah, so you have one really good trait, and then the second trait's more or less a wash. Because this is, you're alternating parts currently. Most players are alternating parts for their primary combat suit, not for a backup suit. So to have something that reduces the enemy's melee power instead of boosting your power further, to me, it feels like a waste of investment. Later on, like, you know, fast forward 4 or 5 months when we have a lot more alternation items and it's more common, absolutely, consider it for sure. That's a great boost. But until then, you know, it's, again, you're using scarce resources for boosts that could be better spent elsewhere, so. Large Mega Beam Rifle. You break 10k? No, you don't. Okay. So the Tallgeese still seems to be the better overall versus the Nightingale. When one enemy shot down, reduce cooldown by 35%, and while high firepower, initial EX skill charge boost. Okay. So it's very easy to activate high firepower, so that trait, very useful. The first one, reduce cooldown by 50% once when you shoot something down. As I say, I think in every video, because this is becoming a more common trait and trigger. This completely loses any usability in 1v1 arena, because there's only one enemy. It loses its functionality in 1v1 multi-missions, or a multi-mission where there's only one enemy. This relies on there being more than one enemy, and reduces cooldown by 50% once. That's a single activation. It may be useful if you have a ton of initial EX cooldown reduction, and your entire gimmick is to quickly spam 3 cutscene EX skills, get something killed, and then spam 3 more. This may be viable, but that's such a niche setup, right? At least the second trait's good, but I just don't think the first one's really worth it. Not to alternate. Shield. Okay, so, oh no, it doesn't go to A, it just goes to B+. Okay, so personally, I don't think that's really worth investing into them. That will hit hard, absolutely. But as we do have alternatives that are also, like what, BB+, I'm pretty sure B+ power actually on some of them. I don't think it's worth investing the alternation tools, really. You will get a good amount of stats from this, though, in comparison, but the EX skill, I think, is just a smidge more important on this type of part if you're using it for that, you know? Okay. So, let's look at the high new. With skins, stats, and tags on parts with good EX skills don't really matter. You want only traits in your main build, especially alternated trait parts. The problem is with that mentality is that to use that custom skin feature, you require a decent catalog of parts that have powerful EX skills that aren't already part of your main build. So it's not impossible to do by any means. However, you do have that prerequisite of player needing that catalog available, which not everyone has. But I get what you mean. You do want to kind of build a suit with all traits, and then you use the skins with the EX in the front, because that way you get access to the EX skills while still activating all of the traits. But not everyone has the ability to do that yet, so. Now, the high new. When armor is 60% to more, EX skill power boosted, and while ace exclusive shooting power boosted. So it just gets a secondary amazing trait. So you're looking at ridiculously high stats, the best 2 word tags you'd ask for on a shot machine, excellent, and 2 amazing part traits. This is a part that is worth alternating, as you know, it kind of ticks all the boxes. Okay. Torso. With power attribute, shooting power boosted. With power attribute, enemy well. So the first trait is amazing. The second trait, as I said before with the Nightingale, it's not really worth it unless both of the traits really feed into the offensive aspect of the suit. In my opinion. Again, right, this is my opinion. This is how I play the game. All offense all the time. Like, that's literally the best thing you can do with the current meta, because everyone is trying to get their initial EX cooldown to the lowest they can, nuke your face off and call it a day. How do you fight fire? With more fire. So, torso, great stats, great first trait, not so great when alternated. For our, the arm machine gun, B plus D again, so much like, what's the X1 again? The X1, actually no, there's no competition. And the reason that there's no competition is because this part, typically, players are only going to get a single copy. Meaning your magazine will not be as big on this as it will be on Crossbone X1 or other, not so high chest parts. So I don't really know if it's worth, arm parts. I don't really, because that's the beef, right? That's the biggest beef with this, is even though it will hit like a truck, even though it has amazing stats, the EX skill will, for most players, have a very low magazine count, meaning you're not going to be able to get the most bang for your buck with this alternation, unless you invest a bunch of the nippers into it and things like that. It will hit hard. It does have the ace exclusive tag. It does have amazing stats, but because most people aren't going to be able to get the full magazine capacity on this, if it was A power, my opinion would be different, but as it's only B plus, yeah. The arm and shield of the high new go from 4 to 8 at level 1 when altered. Let's see here. Oh, 8 magazine. Oh, I guess it's only 3 shy, isn't it? What's its maximum capacity? Is it still 11 or is it bumped up? It's still bumped up. Okay. Would 8 magazine make it worth it? I'm just thinking through shot arms I see people typically have in their builds. You have base exclusive, you have the stats. It's really just the EX skill that I'm concerned about. You know what? With 8 magazines in it, and it being a B plus in the arms, I'm going to say that's going to be pretty worth it. If you pair this with like the crossbone torso and the strike noir back, you can just spam all day and mow things down. I'm going to assume the Nightingale shield falls under the exact same thing where it gets 8 magazines, so I'm going to change my opinion on that one. Because I thought it was just going to be sitting at 4, and that would make it completely worthless to alternate. But if it gets 8, you'll have great stats, you'll have a really powerful magazine skill, and then you could sub-slot any tags that you need in. Okay. But, yeah. Okay. Okay. Arms are pretty good. Legs. We need a trait to lessen reload time for EX. So the way that the magazine skills work is your cooldown reduction actually affects how long it takes to reload per shot. So you can actually get away with, I think, about 50% cooldown reduction, and that way you could literally just like tap, 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 and just keep spamming the abilities. But I think the animation still has to finish going before you can do something else. So there's still kind of a theoretical cap as to how much cooldown reduction you can actually have and still get the most actual usage out of your EX. So just something to keep in mind. Anyways, back to this. Stat-wise, as expected, amazing. With Ace exclusive, shooting crit rate boost, that's a write-off. With power attribute, EX skill power boost, that's not. Okay. So this is kind of a quandary part. So you're looking at a set of legs that have two best word tags. You're looking at one that it has, I would actually think, probably the best shooter stats in the game for legs. And it has one good trait, but not the other. So what this comes down to is that one trait good enough? And personally, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if shooting crit rate affects EX skills or not. I'm going to assume it does. Is 17%, or I guess, yeah, 17% is the EX1 for this, right? Oh, it's 10%. Is a 10% chance for your shooting attacks, whether EX or not, to crit, worth sacrificing a guaranteed boost to shooting power, or to EX skill damage, or whatever? If it is, then this may be worth for you to alternate. And if it's not, then obviously not. So it comes, are you a gambling man and want to rely on RNG? Personally, I would say no. I would say to guarantee your stats with, boosting stuff instead of relying on crit rate and stuff like that. But each to their own. Backpack. Hyper Mega Bazooka Launcher S. Yep. You get a crazy shot attack buff. Obviously, stats are amazing. Ace exclusive high firepower. I can't see anything truly negative with this. The sole exception being it doesn't heal you while it does damage like the Nightingale back does. However, this does have a steeper boost by a 10%, because the Nightingale gives you a heal and a 39% shot boost. This gives you no heal, but a 49% shot boost. So is the 10% extra shot attack worth trading off the heals? Do you need the heals? Do you have another EX skill that gives you the heals? Play around with that, chew on it a little bit. And but overall, I think this is a great part to alternate. Great tags, great stats, powerful EX. It's a cutscene too. What's not to like, right? Sword. With power attribute, we have the magic combo here, boys. Okay. So, on a shooter build, you will activate Ace exclusive 9 times out of 10. Why wouldn't you? It's 10% extra shot attack. While you are power attribute, your initial EX cooldown is reduced. So, you are most likely going to activate the first trait whether you want to or not. And the second trait, you just need to have a power-based machine. Not very difficult to do either for shot. And with that, you will have 2 very amazing traits. Couple that with, again, Ace exclusive, and yeah, got yourself an amazing melee slot part for a shot build. Shot build, not a melee build. Shot build. There are many better options available for melee. So, don't even think about it, boys. Don't even think about it. Will the limited alterations circle back? Probably. We don't know. Only the devs really know. And they don't like telling us that kind of information because it would heavily influence whether we roll, spend, and things like that. So, it's not in their best interest to tell us when, if they'll come back. They just say they're limited time. And it may come back. I would assume yes. As you see, we're getting the recycling of all the event welfares from the past and whatnot, so anyways. I'm 31 and what is this? Gunpla Warfare. That's what this is. Yeah. Beam Gun, DB+. Alright, so pretty much see what I said about the arms. And it does push up to 8, right? 8. Yeah. Amazing shot stats, ace exclusive high firepower, and the EX skill is gonna hurt like a truck. Okay. There's really not much to say about this. Overall, the Nightingale really only had a couple of parts that really looked like they were alternate worthy, so that's really up to you as an individual. The High New had quite a few parts that were definitely worth alternating. Again, it's up to you whether or not you want to roll, alternate, and all that fun stuff. So, I don't overrate initial charge. Well, hey Corpse, if YouTube just kind of randomly recommended the stream to you and you're just kind of hopping in, you don't know what it is, Gunpla Warfare, it's a mobile game. This stream is pretty much giving my impressions on parts that were just added to the game, and whether or not they're good for more veteran players, new players, you know, you just kind of get an idea. So, if you like mecha, there you go. TLDR. Have you finished the battle circuit? So, I actually was in Sukiya's Discord, it's like what, 3-4 days ago or something like that? I personally don't find the battle circuit, like, it's nice to do because you get good rewards for it, but I find with the different games that I play and the amount of time that I really have to sit down and play mobile games, it's not really worth it as an investment to me. I'm a patient gamer when it comes to mobile games. I don't mind sitting on my thumbs and hoarding, waiting. Right? You guys saw that when I had, 50k Haro saved up. So I don't mind not doing the laps and rushing to get alternate parts and stuff like that, because frankly, it'll all eventually end up in my inventory, whether through login rewards or, whatnot. I have more than enough power as it is to, clear content very easily. I can easily get double S in Arena, so to me there's no real reason to rush through the laps other than to show off a low time. And I only have so many parts because I'm very selective with when I roll the gacha, and I'm really selective on the parts I keep, which ones I throw away, and which ones I upgrade. So during the last battle circuit, I actually spent a lot of time tuning up my parts and upgrading them to try to clear it. And after burning through like 60 million capital, almost all of my tune-up chips, like I emptied my resources, I could barely get past number 10. I actually didn't even get to 10, I think. That's purely just because I don't have the prerequisite stuff built up to be able to clear the content. It's just how I play. So when they announced a new one that wasn't shot favored, it doesn't directly nerf shot like the last one, but it's not shot favored. You know what? I'll wait. Not a big deal to me. So, to answer your question in short, no, I haven't done the battle circuit yet. It's just because my time's taken up by doing a bunch of other stuff. So, it's just the way it is, unfortunately. Let's see here. Make your bed, we have guests. No, I'm just gonna stay. I had half a mind because of how much Storm was complaining about it. I had half a mind to go to my mirror and like heavily slant it on purpose before the stream just to mess with him, but I decided against it. Oh, it's more than 2 hours on 2 laps for me. It's like 2 hours for 1 lap. Because, for one, personally, the controls don't really work well for me. Whenever I'm trying to move, I find my machine will randomly lock up. When an enemy gets too close, it'll start using melee for no real reason at all instead of using shot or doing anything I want it to. So it's not just fighting the enemies, it's also kind of fighting the controls, for me. I know a lot of people have no issues with the controls whatsoever. It may have something to do with my phone, who knows, maybe the cover on my phone is, the screen, it's causing some kind of funky connections. It's an old screen, has a bunch of perforated holes on it. I take a photo, but my main phone, or my main camera is my phone. It's very hard to take a photo of itself, So. No, Storm, I'm not gonna fix it. Can we see your builds? Well, if you want to, there's really nothing amazing on here. Only the first few machines are actually worth looking at. So, we have... Oh yeah, they're all still Halloween. So let's see. Is this... No. Is it? No. There it is. So this is my primary offensive build right now. Yeah, it's quite spooky as a machine. I'm still trying to kind of min-max its traits, but I think it's probably going to be the best I'm going to get out of the Kshatriya. It did good work. It did good work. Until there's an alternation, I'm pretty sure I've kind of hit the theoretical limit of what I can do with this machine. So. And then we have the Strike Freedom over here, which I'm currently in the this is nuts. So look at the shot attack on this, right? 42,000. That's higher than my strongest shot machine, right? The scariest part is I have almost how many gold marks on this? I have 1 gold mark, I believe, on the arms. Yeah. So if you look at the parts, the head has 2 purple, so not 2 gold. The torso has nothing. The arms have 1 gold, 1 purple. The legs have nothing. The back, nothing. The weapons, nothing. The gun, I think it's purple and a blue. And obviously the pilot has no marks. This is easily going to be able to push 50k. That is when I finished building this suit and I looked at the stats, I kind of realized exactly I can play with my favorite. I can play with Kshatriya without any problems. 42k is more than enough to clear content. But it's never really going to get up there with those super high tier 50k plus builds because there's only so much you can do when your stat ceiling is low. So I don't want to say power creep because, even though the Kshatriya was Sokai and the Strike Freedom came later in the Sokai, we've seen kind of an upward trend of old parts, and eventually old ones go back. So I guess in a way, it is power creep in the most basic sense of the word, but it's also just the devs have been a lot more attuned to how we play the game, and they've kind of made a lot of changes to newer parts, and as you saw with the reprinting of the Barbados, the original Gundam, they're going back and they're really kind of looking at how we play and changing stuff up. So I hope when the alternation comes out for some of these older Sokai suits, they definitely look at those stats and give us a good tweaking for them, As long as they keep everything balanced and let us actually play our favorites, play the game the way we want to, I have no complaints. Now that I'm able to actually use the Kshatriya, because before the Mark system and the 6-star system, primarily before the 6-star system, the Kshatriya was just sitting on a shelf. But as soon as I was able to sub-slot parts in the back and modify its word tags and its traits, it went right to the front because I could actually make it viable. And that's all I've really wanted from this game since day one, is them allowing us to make things viable. Let us play with our favorites. I'm a happy camper. And I'm able to do that. I'm a happy boy. I just wish I could get it stronger. So, yeah. Fingers crossed on alternation. New Kira isn't good with a Strike Freedom. Well, here's the thing, is Kira in that outfit never actually piloted the Strike Freedom. Let me just go back and take a look at him real quick, because I'm pretty sure it's his Earth Forces outfit, is it not? Where are you? There you are, Kira. Come here. Yeah, so that's his Earth Forces outfit. So this is pretty much like Season 1, first quarter, where he activates his seed mode, right? Because once he gets the freedom, that's when he has the Zaft uniform. He goes back into the Earth Federation uniform a little later. But by the time he gets the Strike Freedom, he's always using the Orb outfit. So it's not really surprising that an earlier version of Kira is not compatible with the later version of his own suit, you know? Timeline-wise, right? So. Can I plug my Instagram name on here for those who might want to reference how to be at Lab 11 of 20? I'd rather you not use my YouTube chat to plug your own content, personally. You have the Reddit for that. I'm more or less okay with it on my Discord as long as you do it in the right channel. Try not to do it on the YouTube chat if you could, you know? My main is also Kai parts. That's just how it goes, right? Couldn't you pop the quad skin on Strike for stats? Yes, but I like the aesthetic of both, so I don't want to turn one into a skin over the other, you know? As much as I like the quad more, I like both of them. So, kind of a problem there. He used the Strike and Freedom, and yeah, he didn't use Strike Freedom until what, like halfway-ish through Destiny. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing future versions of Kira, especially in the white Zaft Commander uniform. It's gonna be great. Great. His strike in the game is speed. I don't know why they decided to make him power. I guess it was really just kind of feed off of the new, but I don't think we'll ever really know, frankly. What game is that? John, oh, are you someone else that this randomly got recommended to? I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the YouTube algorithm. So, John, what game is that? This is Gunpla Warfare. It's a game about Gundam. You build machines based on parts, and you throw them into combat, and you have a grand old time. If you're into giant mechas, or mechas in general, you may want to try it out. It is free. Good stuff. This stream is just reviewing, well, not reviewing. I don't want to say reviewing, because really, it's not like a proper review. It's impressions of new content that comes out, so. Have they fixed the glitch of Exia alters legs? I have no idea. Didn't even know there was a bug on that. Strike Freedom appears in episode 41. Not a seed. Seed Destiny. Perfect Strike belongs to Moo. Yeah, that's just the way that it worked out, right? Because the strike didn't actually get completed, so to speak, until Kira got his freedom, and everyone thought he was dead. He should have died, frankly. Oh, Honey Badger, how to use alternation. So when you're on the home screen of the game, you look up to the top of your shelf unit. Come on, give me control of my screen, damn it. Up here. This little thing is alteration. And there's your alteration menu. What would you recommend in blueprints? Like, there's really not a lot of good stuff in the blueprints. It was what, the Zaku 2 or 3? The Command, and the Mac. The Mac really didn't have anything going for it, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check that these weren't magazines. Nope, that's not a magazine. And that shouldn't be a magazine either. Nope. Yeah, so nothing really terribly useful on the Mac knife. The Command Gundam didn't either. And I think the Zaku arms were a magazine, were they not? Yeah. So maybe the Zaku arms, maybe something you want to pick up just for that extra magazine skill. But really, beyond that, there really isn't a terrible amount of good stuff in here to grab, you know? No, I'll say Kira should have died. He should have died multiple times over. I don't care if I piss off the entire fan base. You can't argue that he should have survived any of that. Like, he just blowing up point blank literally cooked his suit's cockpit. You don't walk away from that. You can, oh, he was rescued by somebody before it blew up. Man, like, Athrun had enough time to jettison out. He didn't even escape the blast. You can't tell me that, you know, after he left his suit and flew away and barely made it out of the blast zone, somebody snuck up, broke into the strike, saved Kira, and they both fled and didn't die from the explosion. I'm sorry, that just doesn't, 2 and 2 not adding up here, you know? Doesn't work. And, you know, nuclear explosion to the face, walks off. Bruh. Not once, but twice. He eats the Genesis laser, makes it out without cancer, eats the Freedom blowing up next to his head, doesn't die from cancer later. I'm sorry, it's just... The Chobum shield is good. Yeah, but that's not in the blueprints, is it? The Chobum shield shouldn't be in the blue... Like, maybe it's in the 4-star pick, but that shouldn't be in the blueprints. Yeah, no, it's not. Well, there it is. But you need... Yeah, the Build Strike Gundam fragment. Okay. I guess that would be the only thing really worth picking up, but you can only pick up a few copies of it. Let me double check. What's in the purples here? Wing. The Wing Shield has offensive stats, but you can 4-star pick that. And not that many stats. It's outshone, obviously, by all the Sokai stuff. I was looking more at the blue for the event materials and stuff, not so much the fragment exchange. The wing arms are very nice as well, as they have really high shot attack for a non-welfare, non-Sokai. It's actually crazy how high the shot attack is on it. Obviously the Chobum shield, really nice. It's a Magazine EX, hits like a truck. Yeah, I think that's actually it though. Because really the Atlas was a colossal what the heck moment. Ugh. The strike cockpit was sliced open. Yeah, no, Snow, the front was sliced open. Kira could see out of it. But that slice, to my knowledge, from my recollection, 1, wasn't big enough for a person to slip through. 2, even if it was big enough for a person to slip through, my statement still stands. You can't, okay, so you're fighting somebody. You have them dead to rights. You latch onto their suit, you set the self-destruct, and you stop the cockpit from opening so they can't escape. Okay? You've done all this. You trigger the self-destruct, you begin fleeing your suit. You still see they're still stuck in their machine as you're leaving. Off you go. Now, in between the time of you turning around and breaking eye contact and leaving, you have another person that has snuck onto premises. He has evaded the sensors of the suit. He has snuck on in between your two suits onto that machine to get into the gap. Let's say it's big enough for him to fit through. He fits in. He identifies himself to the pilot, doesn't get immediately shot in the face by a pistol because, you know, maybe he's concerned that someone else is coming to kill him. It's Kira, he's a pacifist, so we'll pass on that. Okay, so now he's got to deal with the belts of the seat. Junk guild, you know? Okay, cool. He's got the tools. Let's cut him free. Then you got to lug him out of the cockpit and then flee the blast zone before the explosion goes off. That's like a best case scenario going on. Athrun, when that explosion went off, he was still caught by the blast and flung because of it. You can't tell me that people that were delayed another 10, 15 seconds would not get caught in the blast in a more exaggerated way. And plot armor all you want, but like... Topping it off, he got found on a nearby beach by Reverend Malkio. You gonna tell me this guy had a massive explosion happen on the island and was just like, whatever. Happens all the time, regular Tuesday night. Jesus. Seed logic, it's true. They use the Dragon Balls. Like, okay, sure. He channeled the power of Nakama to save himself. Now, see, that's an interesting one. Mu surviving the Dominion's positron cannon. That's a neat one. So, the shield, of the perfect strike, because it was the perfect strike at the time of that happening. Because that would have been after Kira got the freedom, perfect strike had already been built, the whole orb siege happened. Did they upgrade the shield? Did they reinforce the shield? We don't know what they did with the shield. At least to my knowledge, we don't know what they did with the shield. The normal strike's shield would have folded on contact. It was not made to deflect that kind of shot. But we don't know if the perfect strike had an upgraded shield or not when it took the blast. Should he have survived? Most likely not. He still should have been absolutely decimated, as the amount of force behind that would have been absurd. But you could make the argument that the Dominion had taken some damage, and thus the cannon didn't get a full charge, and that's why he was able to get off. There's at least some degree of, okay, I can believe that ass pull, but, like, it depends on how much you want to suspend your disbelief on that one. Did he take a full power shot? He's probably dead. Was the shield upgraded? He's still probably dead. Did he take a slightly weaker than intended shot? He may have survived. Plus, he took a hit to the face, man. Do you see that scar? He didn't walk away for free. Unlike, Kira and Athrun and, all the other people that just walk away from explosions after being caught up in them. It's like, yeah, whatever, I'm fine. I didn't even lose an eyebrow hair. Was it just the Air Strike? I'm pretty sure he had the full, like, okay. He may not have been using the Perfect Strike pack during that fight, but I'm pretty sure it had already been the Perfect Strike by that point, because I'm almost certain he used it during the Siege of Orb. Did he not? Or is that Destiny? I can't remember anymore. That's the problem with Seed and Destiny. They kind of blend together. I'd have to sit down and rewatch both of them again, but I don't have time for 100 episodes of anime. I haven't had that kind of time in years. If you get facial scars, you become more powerful. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. You know what? Now I just want to check. Perfect Strike. Where did this sucker show up? Episode 38. I was right. I was right. The Perfect Strike showed up in Seed. I was right. So he may not have been using the Perfect Pack when he was in space during that fight, but the strike had already been upgraded to the Perfect Strike by that point. Again, it's never explicitly said, to my knowledge, whether or not the Perfect Strike was purely just the pack upgrades, or they were able to upgrade the suit under the hood due to the battle data and everything obtained between the point of strike being created in Heliopolis and it finally making it to a factory where it could be upgraded. I don't remember if they ever explicitly stated that in any of... I don't think they said it in the anime. Pretty sure they didn't. They, to my knowledge, didn't say it in any of the art books, and I don't think there's any canon stuff that really goes into that. I just know it got upgraded to the Perfect Strike, and it can use all 3 packs. Yeah, see ya, John. See ya, John. Episode 38 of the remaster, not the original. You gotta remember, though, the original was effectively reused scenes and animations, the anime. I don't think I've ever seen a series with more reused animations than Gundam Seed. It was insane. So one could make the argument that they originally intended for the Perfect Strike, but they didn't want to redraw the animation cells. So they just said, screw it, and on the remaster they went back and added it properly as the Perfect Strike. So... God, keeping up with chat's a headache. Well, I'm not saying that Seed was the origin of reused animations, but what I'm saying is, out of all the Gundam that I've watched, Seed had the most reused animation cells. Because don't forget, they didn't just do it in Seed. They reused them in Destiny 2. They literally spanned 100 episodes of reused animation cells. Like, that is crazy. Anyways, 12:17. Streams are going on for like an hour and a half. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up, guys. It's been real fun hanging out and talking to all of you. I'm going to do my Tales of Xillia stream tomorrow night, as I normally do some kind of game stream. At least I want to. Wednesday to Friday. It starts at about 9:30 EST PM. So if you're interested in just kind of hanging out there as well, talking about whatever, while watching me play some Xillia, join up. I will put a link to the live stream in my Discord. You can also access it through my YouTube channel through the scheduled live stream stuff. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I guess I'll do it this time because I normally don't. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Really, helps the channel grow, gets the video out to more people. As you saw today, we had a bunch of people that have never even heard of this before getting recommended the video. So we're starting to make an impact on that. Maybe we'll bring in more new players. Yeah, all that fun stuff. Peace out, guys. And for those of you that tune in tomorrow, see you then. Otherwise, I'll see you whenever.